fairy friends. I am back today with my Jasmine doll. I'm going to be doing a few things with her, so if you'd like to see what's happening in my doll studio today, come on in and make yourself comfy. She needed to be a little bit cleaned up, and I'm going to go ahead and take the wire out of her arms, which I have been meaning to do for a while. So right now I'm going to go ahead and wipe her face with a lightly damp cloth. She does look a little bit different from what she does on the website, but it's okay. It's not different in a disappointing way. Alright, she's good and cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and it's jointed here, and I don't really care for how bulky this is, but she's a big baby, and I'll show you at the end. So it kind of when it gets covered, it's a little bit different. She's weighted pretty well. The only thing I don't like, oh look, she's got a little spot from her washcloth. Let me put her washcloth up. I think the main problem here is going to be, has been for me, the wire in there. So I'm going to go ahead, get my scissors to get the wire out of it. So if you happen to have a Jasmine and you have thought about maybe taking the wire out, then this will be a good video for you. And it is sewn. Well, you can't say they didn't do a really great job making sure the hand stayed on. Alright, and then there's the wire, and it's cloth. That's a good thing that's cloth wrapped. And then I want to pull it out. So this end went up into the shoulder, and that went down in the hand. So this is stuffed pretty well. If you wanted it to bend at the elbow, you could take out the stuffing and then hand stitch a little bend right here. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is take out, get this back, oop, out of the close-up. I'm going to take out to about here of this stuffing, and they stuffed it pretty well. What I'm going to do is just fluff it back up a little bit, and I'm going to leave a little gap there just so it has a little give, so she can be, see, the wire allowed for that to pose with a regular, you know, what we would expect to see with the elbow there, but now without the wire, we need to accommodate that little bend there, and plus I want it to, you know, move freely. And then her arm is filled up. If you thought that maybe she was too firm, you could take that out, but I'm fine with how she is. So I'm going to take my new zip tie and feed it through before I go to fiddle with the arm back on. And then I will do her other arm off camera. Yeah, I'm going to go the other way because sometimes there's like a little pocket in the channel that doesn't allow the zip tie to go through. all the way through, gets caught. So sometimes it's a matter of just going the opposite way. Yeah, there we go. All right, and then I always just get it ready. Just be careful, don't try to pull it too much. And then you want to see how you'd like her arm to be. I think I will have it, I think it was kind of pointing inwards a little bit, her forearm and her hand. There we go. Let me get this. Yeah, I'll take off the other. I always just do, let me show you. I always just cut that much. That way there's something for me to see. So I can get up really close there and nip it so that it isn't jagged and hurting. So, you know, hurting anybody when it touches someone. There, and then you can just test it. And then we'll look at it, and let me clear up this extra stuffing. We'll see what the difference is on how the arm looks. And look at her. Oop. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. Here's her arm, her new arm, and then here is her other arm. It's just awkward. It almost looks, let me move this back. It almost looks too long, actually, for her body. And then this just kind of seems to lay right now. Whereas this one is, I don't really feel like the wire is doing anything for her. So, no wire with a little space here with, you know, not totally stuffed. Completely full, and then really stuffed firm with a wire. And as you can see, she still sits up well. And if you have a, like mine's a second-hand one, if you wanted to put some stuffing here to give her head a little bit more support, that would be good. I think she actually doesn't need so much support as she needs a little bit more height in her torso to match her limbs. So I'm going to go ahead and take off her head as well and stuff that extra stuffing that I've taken out of her arms into her body. Okay, I got her her other arm wire out, and I thought I'd just go ahead and do this on in regular time, because I do want her. Ooh, they stitched it on really well. It's weighted and pretty heavy, so all right. Now I'm really liking how her arms are. So what I'm gonna do is just put all of that stuffing that we just removed. Well, maybe not all of it, but we'll just see what we think. How much we think should go back on there. See, I just want, it's not that her head is floppy. It is a bit floppier than what I like. And you have to keep in mind too that it will get floppier as you're displaying and changing it over time. It will get floppier. So right now is the best time while you're fiddling with it. Otherwise you might not want to do it later. While I'm changing the arms out, getting that wire out, might as well go ahead and fix the head as well. And this is going to give her not just a little bit more support, but it's going to give her some more length in her torso that she's lost since she's been displayed and played with and what have you. Let me try to get that. There we go. I want to be able to turn it. That's good. That's not too tight. Okay, let me cut that in the back and then trim with my fingernail clippers. Well, there we go. And there. She has a lot. Oh, look how good her head is now. She has a lot more length in her torso since stuffing that, and she's not looking as floppy in the neck. And I'm really loving her arms. And I'm going to go ahead and get her dressed now, and she looks tons better just having been wiped down with a wet cloth. She's lost a lot of the sheen that was on her skin that I didn't notice. So let's go ahead and get her dressed. Okay, that's a lot better. The palm doesn't need to be up. That's not really a good pose, but I like it so that it will be turned that way to, and then you might want to fiddle with that, the stuffing in there. Make sure your space is in between there. Yeah, that's how I want it to be. It can be slightly to the side here. See how her palm is facing inward? Then when she goes when I go to pose her like this, she'll be fine. Alright, now for her hair, let's zoom in a little bit on her. And her face, her unimpressed little face, she's like sleepy and unimpressed. And her face reminds me so much of my daughter's expression. She was permanently unimpressed with strangers. Alright, you guys have seen me use this before. This is for human hair, so but whatever you do, when you're, I'm gonna get my hands warmed up with that. Whatever you do and decide for your doll, make sure you look it up. Every doll is different. I'm going to get it on the ends here. Make sure that you're not putting in something that can hurt your doll. If you've just recently gotten your doll, then you'll be able to see what the hair is made out of and the vinyl. You don't want to get a whole bunch of actual product on it and leave it on there. Even though in general we can say if it's safe enough for us, then it should be safe for your doll in general. But as we know, we wash our hair. We don't keep it on indefinitely. So there can be some issues, mainly just dust. It's easier to collect with something that's slightly sticky, so we don't want to use so much that we have a sticky substance. Alright, I'm gonna call that finished as far as putting enough stuff in her hair. Get it off of my hands because I don't want to get it onto the vinyl, so I'm just using this damp towel. I don't want to get it into her clothing either. I just want it on her hair. So whenever you're doing that, and I'm going to use my trusty goodie brush here, just gently, and she's got a lot of hair, and just be careful to not scrape down the face. You can scrape off paint, especially if you have a reborn from a reborn artist. You want to use a soft brush, bristle brush. We would never use this on a real baby, but you don't want to lose all of that beautiful work that the reborn artist has done on your doll. This is rooted, but it's rooted like, I'll show you. It's rooted like you would expect a mass-produced doll to be rooted in rose. But, I mean, they did a good job with it. It's pretty thick. But, yeah, if you have a reborn doll, that's not like this one. This one's a factory-made doll. Then you would want to use, like, a toothbrush if you don't happen to have your baby brush, a clean toothbrush. I know when we get our when we go to our checkups, we always get a little bag, goodie bag with toothpaste and dental floss and a new toothbrush. And since we use the battery operated toothbrushes regularly, then we always have these to spare, these little toothbrushes. Now what I'm going to do is put a little bit of oil on it just to get these ends. And again, I don't want to get this product on her face. We did a good job cleaning up her face. She doesn't need oil on it. So just want to get those ends, get it worked through, and it seems to be absorbing that really well. What I'm going to do is cover her face and her clothes, and then I have this mister of just plain water. I'm going to do one squirt, and then it just like keeps on going. Alright. I'm going to work that in there. You can see how it just sat on the top of her hair. And tame that down. And you know, she probably needed that since, I mean, her face, you saw how much was in her face on the washcloth. Is she still in frame? Yes. Oh, that gave her a little bit of her curl back. A little bit of that wave in her hair. Okay. Okay. That's going to dry nicely. I'm going to leave it how it is. Let me get one of my dry washcloths. Yeah, that I think did wonders for her. Let me just do one more squirt right there. Yeah, I'm imagining she had some dust on her hair that I mean, come on, Liz. use your brain. If her face was dusty, her hair is going to be dusty. So that is doing a lot to tame her hair down. Now, what I'm going to do is, I know she looks a little bit not so nice with the hair kind of plastered to her forehead, but as you can see, it is trying to be wavy. So what I'm going to try to do is kind of encourage a little bit more of those waves, and then I am just going to leave it to dry on her forehead like that. It will dry and then lift up on its own after I come back to her, and then I'll fluff that up and put either a little barrette in her hair, a little clip-on, a little bow like that, or do a headband. I don't know, but I'm going to let her air dry. Do not want to add heat to her. And I'll remove that because I want to decide how I want that. And I'm just going to let that air dry how she is. It will pop up. So we'll come back to her and I will do some photos of her. I'm going to find her little toy as well. So that is her so far. And I think she's looking tons better. She'll look really cute when her hair has dried a little bit. So, thank you guys for spending some time with me. At the end of the video here, you'll see Jasmine all finished with her hair dry, and do some cute photos with her. And we will see you soon. I hope you guys have a magical day, and thank you for spending time with me. Bye-bye.